I think I'm live. Peace, love, harmony, and light. Make sure I have audio. I think I'm live. Peace. All right, good, 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 good. I'm gonna give you guys some time to get into this live feed. I think I have about maybe an hour, hour and a half for the most to get into some into some information. Once again, all I could do is share the information, give you the knowledge, and whatever you choose to do with it, that's on you. At the ending of the day, you cannot say, hey, you know what? I didn't know. And ignorance is only bliss when you are willing to learn and are willing to, study and, come out of ignorance. But if you choose to stay ignorant, then you know what? Unfortunately, whatever you get, you deserve it. And I know it might sound a little bit mean, but reality is reality. All right, peace. I'm Stacy. So we're gonna get into a few things in this live feed because, man, the majority of the people, the masses, they are lost. They're gone, and the truth is, there's no hope for them. What we have to come to a realization is that we cannot save everyone, and that's a fact. And we have had many examples, presented to us throughout history. And one of the main ones was, again, the allegorical, Noah's Ark. When, Noah was, going around telling people that there's a flood coming and they have to prepare themselves, they have to get ready. Help me build that ark. And nobody paid attention. Nobody was listening because they were too caught up in the flesh. You see, again, all this is an allegory, and history always repeats itself. I promise you, history always repeats itself. And it will happen again because you have to know that this is a learning experience, okay? This is school. And what happens in the fifth or the fourth grade, the fifth grade particularly, if you take tests and you continue to fail, what's going to happen? You're going to continue to repeat, okay? And that's exactly what's happening in life. It's a cycle. And if we cannot master each cycle that we experience, then what happens? We repeat it again. So what's happening is history is repeating itself. Now, what I'm going to share with you in this video is to open up your mind some more. Okay? Open up your mind. I like to go in detail, give you the information that you could see it for yourself and not just talk about it, so you'll have a reference as to where do I have to go and look for the information. You know what? Chief is not just talking. He's actually showing me the proof. Okay? And when I say our people, first off, let me just make this very clear. Okay? I don't get caught up in the race war. I don't play with that, because to me that doesn't exist. Everything we have learned, whether you may call yourself a so-called black man, a so-called white man, a so-called Asian, whatever, it don't matter, right? Everything was taught. They are all learned behaviors. Now, mind you, yes, some of us have our own nature. Okay, some of us have our own nature, and we know the nature of the beast. We already know the nature of the beast. But with that being said, we, the original people of this planet, we obviously we ruled the world, right? We ruled the world, and for some reason, you know what? We happen to just pretty much lose everything, and now we are enslaved, from a system that we created. But it's deep. I tell people it's deep, but as long as you could find the information, you could find your way. There is a way out. There is a way out. All is not lost. There is always hope. And you see, in every era, in every generation, there are those that come along and share that information to help and assist the upcoming generations. And that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now, I appreciate all those of you who see the significance in the message that I bring. But I really think it's going to make, I'm not putting that out. I'm not going to put that out there because I don't want to manifest that. But I hope that it won't be the next 3, 4, 5 generations that get to really see and understand and understand exactly what I was talking about, you know? So I'm asking you guys, man, to see see for what it is. This is real. Our people, we are at war, and they don't know. Because again, they get up, they go every day. I go to work, I go to school, I'm getting my degree, I have a job. You know, my boss love that I put in 40, 50 hours a week and making them billions. And you know, they give me a little 3, 4, 500, 6, $700 a week, and I'm on top of the world. But you have to look at it this way. If you have a job and you are making 500, 700, 800, even $1,000 a week, just imagine how much your boss is making on you. So at the ending of the day, we are still being used. But this is not what this video is about. I'm going to go into a few things and show you again how we have gone through a period of changes as the Aborigines. Okay, there is no question that we are the original people of the Americas. And when I say the original, I'm talking about for a fact that we are not Africans. We're not descendant of African ancestors. All right. Now, I've showed you enough proof of that. Okay. And I'm not going to turn this into a battle with the Moors. I'm not going to do that because, again, I have friends, very good friends who are Moors. And for some reason, you know, they have a different perspective of why they call themselves Moors to certain Moors that say this is Morocco. Now, I just want to touch on that briefly. You know, I didn't get into it with a Moor. I didn't get into it because I don't want to get into the back and forth. Regardless of whatever you call yourself, we are still colonized. So I don't get into the debate. However, the brother was insistent on saying that this is Morocco. And my question is this, and he kind of like summarized it and said that this is the Moroccan Empire, and then this is the dominion of the Sultan of Morocco. So now, which brings a question to my mind, because you see, you have to listen to the words. Pay attention to the words. In the beginning was the word. That's why back in the day, we used to say, oh, my word is bond, because we knew what the word meant. So I'm going to give this brother who says that he's a Moor the benefit of the doubt. Let us just say, hypothetically speaking, that the United States, North America, is actually Morocco, right? And then this is the dominion of the Sultan of Morocco. Okay? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I know it's not true, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But I'm starting to deal with logic here. Okay? So if this is actually Morocco, and we are here enslaved by the United States, right? Why aren't the Moroccan government making allies to come free their people or take back their empire? That's the number one question. Okay? Because it sounds like the same "we're from Africa" narrative, and not one African chief or one African king ever came and looked for their people here. That never happened. But yes, still, you're telling me this is Morocco. Okay? Now, I have another question. If this is Morocco and the United States, okay, took over Morocco, then my question is this. Why do you keep preaching the peace of the treaty of peace and friendship between the United States and Morocco? So what are you trying to tell me? They sold out? You see, that's what I want to know. What happened? If this is Morocco, why did you have to sign a treaty with the United States? So that means, again, you were in bed with the United States and you sold out the Aborigines of this land. So no matter how you slice this and dice it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to stop with the propaganda, man. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, if you want to call yourself a Moor, that's fine. I don't want to get into that. At the end of the day, as long as you're a dark man or a woman, you are colonized all over the world. So let us get away from all the titles. And that's why when I wrote my book, I didn't want to write it about being an Aborigine. I wrote it from the perspective of being a man or a woman, because everything else is a title. Everything else is a title. Okay? And then I have showed enough documents to show that the people who were here, we didn't call ourselves Moors. Okay? We had different languages, and that's how we associated ourselves with the land, the soil. We didn't call ourselves that. And that's a fact. So I'm not going to get into the debate with y'all. Again, facts over feelings. Stop getting in your feelings. You see, I realize that the whole narrative of telling all the American Aborigines that we are Moors is so that we could sell our birthright to Morocco. I know what the trick is. I know what it is. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not going to fall for that. If you want to call yourself a Moor, great. You're my brother. As long as you're fighting the colonizers, I'm cool with that. But don't tell me again, let me make myself clear. Don't tell me that that's who I am. Respect who I say I am. The same way I'm going to respect who you say you are. You see, because nobody's going to trick me into selling my birthright. Okay? Because the Sultan of Morocco only was concerned about his subjects. Because his subjects didn't want to be called Negroes. Because the so-called Negro was the American Aborigine. Was the people they call the so-called American Indian. And they didn't want to call that. They didn't want to be called that because they didn't want to be dealt with under the Negro Act. So they wanted to be separate. So they created the More Sundry Act for his subjects. So this is not Morocco. It never has been Morocco. I know what happened. Y'all brought them here, okay, to help fight us. And then they betrayed y'all. And then y'all signed the treaty. And now the goal is, okay, well, you know what? These people might finally wake up and get it. So let us put that at the back burner. Just in case they start waking up, let us throw that little monkey wrench in their game and tell them that they are all Moors. So now they'll be a subject of the Sultan of Morocco, and they will fall under the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which is what they signed with the United States. So the American Aborigines is still going to get caught up in the BS. It's not going to happen on my watch. And that's why I said, in this war that's going to be happening, we may have to go against some people who look just like us, because history is going to repeat itself. And y'all better wake up to that. Okay? Y'all better wake up to that. So I'm giving y'all the facts and the game that's being played. But this is more so, I'm going to go take a look at some things from the census. Okay? Because I know the game that's being played, Aboriginal Truth. I know it. I know it's a game. You see, that was sort of like, you know when you play a video game and you almost at the last level, but it's giving you the hardest, like, and they're giving you clues, and you're getting the clues, but then there's always that last level to get over. And if you cannot get over it, you're stuck. Again, so that monkey wrench they throw in there is to say that we are all, okay, subjects of Morocco. In other words, we are all Moors. That is the trick. So now we fall again under the jurisdiction of the Sultan, but yet still the Sultan signed a treaty with the United States, the people who took over our land, so that the Sultan's subjects could be citizens of the United States. So they're pulling you right back into slavery. If y'all don't want to wake up and see the truth that I'm kicking, that's on y'all. Because you see, they want to get all emotional. And like I said, it's facts over feelings. Facts over feelings, man. Because I know the truth. I know the truth. Okay? I know the truth. In fact, we were called Indians even before they called us Moors. That's a fact. Okay? We were called Indians by the colonizers before the colonizers called us Moors. So y'all better realize what's going on. Okay? So I'm going to share some information with you guys. The first thing we're going to do is, let me see exactly where I'm going to start. Well, the truth is, this is the thing, Ancient One. You know, by default, we are not United States citizens. Okay? However, because of the 14th Amendment, because of the birth certificate, it makes us citizens. You feel me? But it makes us citizens on paper. But by default, in reality, we are not citizens because of, again, because of the Indian Citizen Act of 1924. They made all of us citizens, provided that provision, and I've put that in videos, provided that it doesn't impair our lives as being Indians, our culture, our land. So it did impair that. So by default, we are not citizens. But because the people don't know, again, ignorance. And I tell people there's no excuse for ignorance. It's okay if you're ignorant because everybody is ignorant to something. But where the problem lies is when you choose to stay in ignorance. That's the problem. That's when you perish for the lack of knowledge. You feel me? So if the American Aborigine would just wake up and let them know that I am not your corporate citizen, I am this is who I am. I'm an Aborigine. And you cannot tell me who I am. I'm a man or woman that was made in the likeness and image of my creator. And I choose. I have a right to self-identify. And no man, no institution has a right to administer my property without my consent. And what's your property? This is your property. Your body is your property. The property of your spirit, the I am in you. I have gone over this a million times. That's your property. Okay? So the games that are being played on us, we have to wake up and realize because it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. They have already set the stage. Remember, everything is an act. That's why they have to pass an act of Congress, an act of this, an act of that. It's all an act. And they have players, actors playing that role. Typical example, a police officer is not a police officer. A police officer is the man. The man is a police officer. What am I saying? A man is acting as a police officer. He's not a police officer. So once you understand the language and you know how to maneuver yourself, you see, then you know you can win. But you have to understand it. You have to know it. You have to know it. And I've already done videos on the real ID. That's going to be mandatory in 2020. I already spoke on that. So people are going to have to go back and look at those videos because mandatory real ID by 2020, the census by 2020, what they're doing is they're pulling you back into slavery. And for all those of you who don't realize what's going on, I promise you, like I told y'all before, the empty Walmarts is waiting on you. That's the FEMA camps. And you will be able to check in, but there won't be no checking out. And believe me, they wouldn't have any big screen TVs either. Because for some reason, y'all just think life is grand and life is sweet. And all y'all want to do is look at TV and listen to that garbage, that music that's saying nothing. Idolize celebrities. They had whoever Beyonce was on 42nd Street. And if you see the pandemonium, people losing their minds. That's how they got these people lost. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. This thing is so simple, but you are volunteering yourself into slavery. You are volunteering yourself into slavery. And it's a problem, but you don't see it as a problem. Okay? It is serious, brothers and sisters. This is real. And history is going to repeat itself. I guarantee you that. I'm not telling you I think. Okay? It's not an assumption. It's not a belief. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because on paper, you are slaves. And remember, paper is that imaginary world. It's in the mind. Because what's on paper is in the mind. It comes from the mind. So mentally, you are enslaved. But it's going to manifest in the flesh again. And I promise you and guarantee you, obviously, brothers and sisters who are in jail, they're already in slavery. But the masses of the people, I'm telling you, who don't get this and get their shit together, they will be going back into physical slavery. And like I said, that's a fact. And you're going to listen to my words when you are behind those bars and behind those fences and you're in those camps. They didn't just make it for the Mexicans. Okay? So y'all better realize what's going on. All right. So let me see what's the first thing I'm gonna talk about. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you about let's share this. 10 interesting things. Okay, let me put that here. 10 interesting things about the French and the Indian War. Facts. Okay, so I'm just gonna read a few of them, and after the video, I will put that information in the link below so you could study all of them. But I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, so let me just share my screen real quick and let us dive into this. Okay. I don't know what you guys are saying right now in the chat because I'm really going in right now. So let us get into that. Okay. So if you ask any questions and I don't respond, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm going in right now. Okay. So I appreciate that. So let us get into this here. And I will put that in the link below so you guys can see that. Let me just bring that up some more so you guys could see what I'm actually reading. Okay. So this is again, the French-Indian War, fact 1. It was George Washington. It was George Washington. There was a young man named George Washington. Robert Dinwiddie sent this man to southwestern Pennsylvania. The order was to get rid of the French forces from the Ohio Valley. Unfortunately, the French refused. The next year, Washington returned along with hundreds of forces to ambush the enemy. Okay, so I'm just giving you some facts. So you have to, again, realize all what our ancestors went through. I'm just showing you again. People just think, well, no, it was just the British that came here. No, it wasn't just that. It was the French, the Portuguese. Okay, you had the British. I'm just letting you know that our ancestors been through a lot. They fought for our land, and they fought for us. And that's why we are here today. We are the survivors of the strongest, not because we came on no damn ship. No, because we were already here and our ancestors was defending our land and defending their children. Okay? We came from the strongest. The French and Indian War, fact 2. The impact to the World War I. The war was part of the World War I. The battle was initiated by George Washington. It set the world on fire. There were thousands of people died during the war. Winston Churchill even called it First World War. As a matter of fact, it included battles in Philippines, the Caribbean, Europe, Africa, and in there. Now, if you could see facts about the French and Indian War, right? Now, check this out. Let me see. Let us get into this little photo right here. So we're going to click on that little photo right here. Okay. Now, clearly, you could see a difference in the complexion of the people that's fighting, right? Obviously, you see the pale man, and look at who they're fighting. Look at the complexion of the people that's fighting in that war. And my brothers and sisters, that wasn't too long ago. You see, they're trying to make it seem like this happened centuries and centuries and centuries. No, what happened was we wanted so much to be like them. We wanted so much to be part of their system. They took over our educational system and they erased your memory. And they show you what they do in the movies all the time. They erased your memory, and then they created empty vessels and they started teaching this new narrative of what they call his story. But look at clearly, the so-called Indians that they are fighting are the melanated people. The melanated people. So again, I'm showing you the proof. I'm showing you the information. I'm showing you that this is our land. We have been here. We didn't come on no slave ship. We didn't come on no slave ship. We fought, and we fought hard. The only difference is today we are fighting hard against each other. That is the only difference, because we have the same fighting spirit. We have the same warrior spirit of those so-called American Indians who are scalping these bastards. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I'm gonna put the link below so you could you know, read the rest. All right. But what we're gonna do is right now we're gonna get into you know, the census. But even before we get into the census, I'm gonna show you the etymology of the word census, because a lot of times I tell people the way I break things down, where if you choose not to believe it, that's on you. But I'm showing you the facts. I'm opening up your mind to a whole paradigm of information and understanding of the information. So let's look at census. Noun, 1610s, in reference to registration and taxation in Roman city or Roman history. What have I told y'all? We are being governed by the Roman Empire, but y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe me, man. The experiment first had to be tried, and it was a success. So they had to bring it here. All those things are foreign to our land. Census, 1610s, in the reference to registration and taxation in Roman history, from Latin, census, the enrollment of the names and property assessments of all Roman citizens, originally past participle of sincere to asses. Asses. Okay? You see that word right here? Gathering them asses. Booty. Don't they have that word booty in the Bible? Hmm? Originally past participle of sincere to asses. Okay? The modern use of census as officially enumeration of the inhabitants of a country or state with details begins in the US in 1790. Okay? In 1790. It says, property for taxation was the primary purpose in Rome. Hence, the Latin census also was used for one's wealth, one's worth, one's wealthiness, etc., etc. So now you see where that word came from. All right? That wasn't part of our system. So they cannot force that on us. You think you have to take it. No, you don't have to take a damn thing. That stuff is voluntary. That ain't got nothing to do with the Aborigines. But it says right here, to asses see censor. Let us look at censor. Let us get into this. We in school today. This is where you get the real knowledge. 1530s Roman magistrate of 5th century BCE who took censuses and oversaw public manners and morals. Again, okay? They are doing surveys and they are studying you. All these things have been done over and over again in history. There is nothing new under the sun. And that's why I tell you, history is going to repeat itself. If you don't wake up and get your shit together, you will end up into physical slavery again. I guarantee you that. Okay? From sincere to appraise, value, judge, speak solemnly, proclaim, recites praises, Sasa song of praise. All right? But the point I'm trying to make is the census was taken, okay, for the oversee or oversaw public manners and morals. I'm just saying. So now that we know where the censorship, the census, the root of that, where it came from and why it was implemented, right? Let us go here now. We're gonna go to Alabama real quick, and I got that from the US.gov archives, because they always hiding those things. And you know, they say if you want to hide anything from a you know what, put it in a book. But that's not true, because a lot of old people do read. So I'm not gonna belittle my brothers and sisters like that. Okay, we giving these people too much credit. All right, but anyway, copyright notice. Let me just bring that up some more so that we could big that up. And I would love for you guys to stay focused. Please stay focused. Okay, I know sometimes you go, you know, you'll be going off in the chat room, and that's cool. I love it when you guys interact, but this is important. This is a very important information, and I'm just trying to deliver the message so that you guys could see what's happening and what has happened to our people. Okay, the original documents are located in box 46 folder 4-3-76 Alabama of the Ron Nissen papers at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library. Okay, copyright notice. The copyright law of the United States, Title 17, United States Code governs the making of the photocopies or of the reproductions of the copywritten or copyrighted material. Ron Nissen donated to the United States of America his copyrights in all of his unpublished writings in National Archives collections. Works prepared by the U.S. government employees as part of their official duties are in the public domain. The copyrights to materials written by other individuals or organizations are presumed to remain with them. If you think any of the information displayed in the PDF is subject to a valid copyright claim, please contact Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library. Okay, so this is an official document. The White House, Washington. The president's briefing book, question and answers. So now we go into Alabama, May 3rd, 1976. Now I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I am going to read enough so you could get an idea of why I'm getting into this. But I will put that in the link below so that you guys could do further reading. Okay, Alabama, May 3rd, 1976. And brothers and sisters, this is recent. This is recent. Okay, I'm just letting you know these things didn't happen years and millions of years ago, like they try to make it seem. Okay, Alabama. Let us just and for those of you who are down south, you will truly understand what happened to our people. Okay, now state profile. Alabama is called the yellow hammer state because of its state bird. The cotton state because of its chief agricultural product, and the heart of Dixie because of its location. The total area of Alabama is 51,609 square miles, of which 549 square miles are inland water surface. It is the 29th state of the Union is size. The 29th state of the Union. So again, there's a difference between the state of the Union and the United States of America, or the United States. Okay? The state capital is Montgomery, and the state entered the Union on December 14th, 1819 as the 22nd state. The southern pine has been adopted as the state's official tree and the camellia as the official flower. The state flag is a red cross of St. Andrew on a white field square in shape. The flag is modeled upon the battle flag of the Confederacy. The name Alabama is of what? Right here. Again, the name Alabama is of Choctaw origin and means thicket clearers or vegetation gatherers, and not here we rest as it's sometimes rendered. Again, I'm going to read that. Okay? And by the way, I'm Choctaw as well. Read this right here. The name of Alabama is of the Choctaw origin. Like I told y'all before, Choctaw, Cherokee, those are not people. Those are the languages. However, the colonizers turned them into the people. Okay? So that's just what happened. But it's a language. It's a language. Okay? So it meant thicket clearers or vegetation gatherers, and not here we rest as it's sometimes rendered. Okay, I'm reading here now. North Alabama is a diversified region entered by the Appalachian Highlands. In the northeast, Lookout Sand and Raccoon Mountains are important physical features. The rugged Cumberland Plateau, extending deeply into the state from Tennessee, is crossed from east to west by the fertile Tennessee Valley, the Great Appalachian Valley, and the Piedmont Plateau invade the state of considerable distance from the Georgia line. The Black Belt is prairie country which crosses the central portion of Alabama, generally from east to west. Further south lies the Gulf coastly plain, which slopes gradually down to sea level in the south, where it touches the Gulf of Mexico. History. Now check this out, okay? Indians living in the area now designated as the state of Alabama left artifacts which yield a more detailed prehistoric record. Again, a prehistoric record. What does the prefix pre means? Okay, it means before. So before they started telling us their history or history, Alabama had a prehistoric culture. Okay? So my brothers and sisters, I am showing you in their own documents. This is an official U.S. Washington Congress government, whatever you want to call them, document. It's official. And I'm going to read this again. Right here. History. Indians living in the area now designated as the state of Alabama left artifacts which yield a more detailed prehistoric record than other sites in North America. So in other words, in all of North America, Alabama, okay, have a more detailed prehistoric record than any other sites in North America. You see why they had to go to the South? You see why they had to do what they had to do? And that's the reason why. In 1956, the Smithsonian Institution and the National Geographic Society supported excavation work by Carl F. M. Miller, who employed the radioactive carbon-14 method in excavating Russell Cave in Jackson County in the northeastern corner of Alabama. Now, we are the Aborigines. I don't know why we are not going to the Smithsonian library and demand that we see what belonged to our ancestors. We have a right to do that, and they cannot stop us because we could sue them for that. But I'm trying to give y'all the knowledge. I'm trying to wake y'all up. All I could do is give you the information, and you have to put in the work. Again, I cannot walk for you, and I'm not going to feed you. I'm going to teach you how to feed yourself. All right? The detailed, now check this out. Again, you see this? The detailed record of the Indians. Okay, I don't hear them calling us Moors. I don't hear them calling us Moors. We didn't call ourselves Moors. They came and called us Indians. Even before they called us Moors. I didn't hear them calling us blacks, at least not yet. I didn't hear them calling us Negroes, at least not yet. I didn't hear them calling us African Americans, niggers, at least not yet. So I'm telling you, man, y'all better wake the hell up. And again, people can get mad if they want, but I'm giving y'all the facts, and facts over feelings every single day. Okay? Because I'm here trying to help my people save themselves. And this is not a game to me. All right? It says, the detailed record of the Indian life thereby uncovered extended over a period of nearly 9,000 years. Okay? 9,000 years. Into the lands of Alabama, Aborigines. You see that again? Aborigines. Now let me ask you a question. How many native people call themselves Aborigines? They don't even call themselves Indians because they know they are not the people they call the Indians. So nowadays, because it's politically incorrect, they have to call themselves Native Americans. And that was created by the federal government, putting them in under the jurisdiction, the subject of the United States, the federal government. Okay? Into the lands of Alabama, the Aborigines there penetrated each of the European powers, which became a major contender for dominance in North America. So again, our ancestors were not just sitting around and, oh, well, you don't know. We fought. We fought. And I'm going to read it again because, like I said, repetition is the key. Into the lands of Alabama, Aborigines. Okay? Why do you think that Senator Scott Bisson called us the Aborigines and then he apologized? Wasn't that in Alabama? Y'all better wake the hell up. And he had to apologize because, you know, he was starting to get pressure from his peers. Man, you just let the cat out the bag. How the hell are you gonna call them Aborigines? We don't want them to know that. So, oh, well, I apologize to the blacks and the African Americans. Well, Senator Bison, where did it come from? How all of a sudden that word Aborigines where did it come from? He said, oh, I don't know. Maybe in my subconscious. You're damn right. That's your conscience. Our ancestors pounding your conscience. And you have to spit it out. So he had to spit it out. And then my Alabama brothers and sisters running right back, calling themselves Black and African American. Isn't brother Sanchez from Alabama? Why if he have such a channel with so many, subscribers and so many followers, why he's not pushing the narrative of us being Aborigines? Why? Why is that? And I'm not here to throw my brother under the bus. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm pointing out to you that people know the truth and they're not talking about it. Why is Pharaoh still calling y'all Black and African American? And his girlfriend on Instagram calls herself an Aborigine. She claims her Cherokee lineage. She don't call herself a Black woman or an African American. But yet still, y'all following Pharaoh, he keep calling y'all Black and African American. And again, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just showing you the dishonesty and the disservice that these people are doing our people because they're getting paid to do it. Facts over feelings. This is not a game. Okay? This is real. And they are paid. And I'm not saying that Sanchez or Pharaoh is paid. I'm not saying that. But all I'm just saying is you do what you want with the information. But I'm just giving you the knowledge. Okay? Your assumptions is yours. Don't put words in my mouth. Because I don't want nobody saying, well, Chief said that about Sanchez. Chief said that about Pharaoh. No. I'm just giving you the facts. The facts. As far as I know, my brother Sanchez is from Alabama. Do he spend time on his channel to dedicate teaching our Alabama brothers and sisters that we are the Aborigine? Pharaoh have damn near, 100 and something thousand subscribers? But he's still calling you Black and African American? But his girlfriend on Facebook, on her profile, she know that she ain't Black because she said it. She's an American Aborigine. But yet still he's calling you because you see that pays. It pays to keep you a slave. It pays to keep you lost. It pays to sell you out. And no wonder why I'm struggling, because I ain't selling y'all out. I just checked my account a little while ago. I'm in the negative, and that's real. I'm just keeping it real with y'all, man. But I'm here giving y'all the real facts, though. I'm the one here on the front line giving y'all the real truth and willing to stand for it, because I'm not going to sell out my ancestors. I'm not going to sell you out. Anyway, let us continue. The first of the known explorers were Spaniards. Okay? Remember, when these people came here, okay, they came with people who interpreted our languages for them. All right? So I'm just going to leave that alone, because I'm not going to continue to beat this dead horse, including Alonso Alvarez de Pinada, 1519. Pafelo de Narvaez, 1528. Hernando de Soto, 1540. Again, my brothers and sisters, this is just a few years ago. Guado de las Barreras, 1558. And Tristan de Luna, 1559 to 1561. Luna's men made several temporary settlements in Alabama, particularly at Mobile, Claiborne, and on the Coastal River. The exploration of the Alabama areas by De Soto was extensive, from north to south, from east to west, and finally from south to north. In addition to the Spaniards, the English and the French also claimed the area, which became Alabama. So once again, I am showing you that our ancestors just didn't stand up, okay? Because they never told you about the American Indian slave trade. They never told you about that when the Spaniards was enslaving our people, okay? They didn't tell you about that. About the Arabs, okay? They didn't tell you about that as well. And then the English, and then the French. And because they couldn't beat us, guess what? They all had to join together. That's how strong we are. That's how strong we are. but we using all that energy to fight each other. Ain't that a blip? The English included the Alabama country in the Carolina charters of 1663 and 1665, and English traders from the Carolinas made numerous trips to the Valley of Alabama River prior to the establishment of the first colony in the area by the French, who founded the first permanent European settlement in Alabama. These settlements were parts of the chain of forts which stretched from the Gulf of Mexico through the Mississippi Valley to Canada for defense against the British. Okay, so you had the Spaniards fighting the French, and then the British, guess who the British was? Yes, that's right. The British wasn't Caucasians. No, the British was your so-called brothers that called themselves Moors, because the original Brits were dark-skinned. Those Spaniards were dark-skinned. So y'all better wake up. Think it's a game. The struggle of France against Great Britain in the Second Hundred Years' War, 1689 to 1763, was reflected in the campaigns in the Alabama country, which involved the Indian allies of European powers. The Treaty of Paris, 1763, removed the French and established British mastery in Alabama country. During the American Revolution, Spanish forces under Bernardo de Galvez seized portions of Alabama and also land farther along the fringe of the Gulf Coast. Now again, seized, so meaning that you stole our land. So I'm asking, where are my Aboriginal brothers and sisters? Why aren't we stepping up, coming together so that we could claim back what's ours? But you know why? You're too busy being black. You're too busy being African American. You're too busy wanting to be from Africa. You're too busy watching Scandal. You're too busy watching Power. You're too busy getting the best phones out there. Like I said, the truth hurts, but I'm going to give it to you. This physical possession was confirmed in the Treaty of Paris, or Paris, 1783, whereby Spain held Mobile and coastal fringe, and the United States held the more northerly parts of Alabama. The dividing lines between Spain and the United States in Alabama country was the southern boundary of the United States at the time, but its exact location was not clear until Thomas Pinckney negotiated the Treaty of San Lorenzo el Real in 1795, and that last name right there, Pinckney. I know a couple of Aborigines who have that last name as well. Establishing the boundary along the 31st parallel. Spanish control of the Baldwin and Mobile counties was not removed until the United States took possession of the area, claiming it to be part of the Louisiana Purchase in 1813, bringing all of Alabama under the United States flag. So you see the takeover? The takeover. And trust me, they had a lot of help. War with the Creek Indians. Again, the Creek Indians. They didn't say Moors. They didn't say blacks. They didn't say African Americans. They didn't say Negroes. No, they called us Indians when they came here. Okay? They called us Indians. And I'm not saying that we are Indians. I'm just saying that we are the American Aborigines, also known as American Indians. Okay? So the Creek Indians, centered in Alabama area, was closely woven into the War of 1812. The Shawnee chief Tecumseh persuaded a majority of the Creek Indians to take up arms against the American settlers, while at the same time the Shawnees in the Creek Lakes, in the Great Lakes area, were also resisting the advance of the American frontiermen. Like I said, our ancestors fought. The most important engagement in the Creek War was the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, March 27, 1814. General Andrew Jackson's victory in this battle was a major step in the career, in a career which led to the presidency. The Creek War ended with the Treaty of Fort Jackson, 1814, with the restoration of peace, the trickle of Anglo-Americans. And I showed y'all what Anglo meant. Okay, I showed you what Anglo meant before. If you don't know, go look it up or go look at some of the videos. From nearby states, especially from Georgia, The Carolinas, Virginia, and Tennessee swelled into a flood which quickly populated Alabama country. In 1817, the Alabama Territory was created, with the capital at St. Stephen's and William Wyatt Bibb as the governor. Alabama became a state in 1819, and in 1826, the capital was finally established at Montgomery. The principal problems of antebellum politics centered about the state bank, Indian removal, education, and slavery. Okay, Indian removal, education, and slavery. I'm going to say that again, Indian removal. They didn't say Native American removal because they were not called Indians. Okay, they were not the Indians. You was, I was, our ancestors were. So you see how they did that? The Indian removal, education, and slavery. That's how they got us. Forcing us out of our lands. And yes, by them forcing us to put our children in their schools, again, creating empty vessels and starting to enslave a lot of our people mentally, some physically as well. Montgomery became the first capital of the Confederacy, and there on February 18, 1861, Jefferson Davis was inaugurated president of the Confederate State of America. Estimates of the Alabamians in Confederate military service vary from 65,000 to 100,000. 39 generals in the Confederate Army came from Alabama. Approximately 3,000 Alabamians served in the Union Army. The post-war Reconstruction in Alabama had three distinct phases. The presidential period of Reconstruction, 1865 to 67, which was marked by the Constitution adopted in 1865 that ratified the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, nullified the Ordinance of Decision or Decession, and provided for the election of state officers. Opposition on certain state laws by the radical Republicans in the National Congress resulted in the denial of seats to Alabama's representatives and senators. 2. The second period of Reconstruction, 1867 to 68, was ushered in by the National Acts of March 1867. Like I said, it's always an act, making Alabama a part of the 3rd Military District. Major General Wager Swain of Ohio was appointed on the presidential authority as the military governor of Alabama, and the radical Republicans took charge of the state's electoral processes. I'm almost done here. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I just want to get to a certain point and show you how the narrative changed. In November of 1867, another constitutional convention drafted a new constitution, which, in accord with the aims of the radical Republicans, forced the adoption of the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, that's when we all became officially on paper slaves. Okay? 3. The carpetbag scalawag era, 1868 to 74, was 1/3 phase of Reconstruction. It was marked by the corruption and extravagance on the part of numerous public officials and is generally regarded as the low ebb of the state's history. The period from 1874 to 1896, designated as the Bourbon era, was characterized by economy retrenchment, conservatism, and dominance of the Democratic Party. Paradoxically, this period was marked by progress in education and industry as the state struggled to recover from the costly losses of the 14 years of war and Reconstruction. Widespread poverty and depressed agricultural prices sparked the populist revolt of 1890s. This political group, using designation Jeffersonian Party, nearly captured the governorship in 1890 and again in 1892. The farm revolt gradually subsided, but left a legacy of demands which were for the most part enacted into law during the 20th century. Alabama started the 20th century with a new constitution, that of 1901. The Democratic Party remained dominant, but some counties of the Hill area consistently voted Republican. Many Negroes also voted Republican, particularly the period prior to 1936. So let me ask you a question, right? So you see how the narrative changed? They were calling us Indians, all right? The Creek Indians, the Choctaw Indians, the Indians, right? But here we go now. All of a sudden, the narrative changed from Indians to Negroes. So I'm just showing y'all exactly what happened. The transition from changing our identity. So no longer we were being called Indians. Now we are being called Negroes. In 1948, when President Harry Truman ran as a regular Democratic nominee against Thomas E. Dewey, Republican, Alabama's electoral votes were cast for J. Strom Thurmond, states' rights Democrat. In 1952, Dwight D. Eisenhower proved popular but ran behind Adlai Stevenson as running mate, Alabama Senator John J. Sparkman. In 1956, Stevenson again carried Alabama over Eisenhower with one electoral vote cast for Walter B. Jones of Montgomery. The Democratic slate won in 1960, but 6 unpledged electors voted for Senator Harry Byrd of Virginia, while 5 voted for John F. Kennedy after the passage of the Civil Rights Bill in 1964. Alabama, for the first time since 1872, gave its vote to a Republican president candidate, Barry Goldwater, in preference to Democratic candidate President Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay, in 1950s and 1960s, Alabama was deeply involved in the conflict over racial segregation and the Negro struggle for civil rights. Right? So again, I'm showing y'all the narrative. We went from Aborigines, okay? We went from Aborigines being on the land from time immemorial to them calling us American Indians to them now calling us Negroes. And then, of course, you know the rest, Black and all the other names, okay? Now, I'm not going to go back to the video. I mean, I'm not going to come back to you guys just yet. I'm going to continue here. So I showed you what happened in Alabama. Right now, we're going to go here. Okay, now again, that's on their site, archives.gov. That's their information. I'm not making this up. All right, I'm not making these things up. I'm showing you the proof. Okay, now this is a genealogy. This is a genealogy. Okay, let me just bring that down one. Okay, bring that down some more. Okay, all right. So this is a genealogy of personal history, a passenger list, and this is from 1834 to 1897. And we have Russians to America, the passenger data file, 1834 to 1897. Okay, they had over 500,000 Russians coming in at that time. So I'm showing you the takeover. All right, I'm showing you the takeover. I'm showing you what happened, how they replaced us. That was gentrification, well, to a certain extent. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is how they started bringing their people, making them U.S. citizens. Okay, to be a bigger population of the Aborigines that was already there in the United States, well, that area called the United States. Okay, so we have Russians coming in 1834 to 1897. Now, I guarantee they didn't come in as slaves. No, they came in as indentured servants, and the deal was they're going to give them some land after they worked for a certain while, and they could buy land from the Aborigines because now they were kicking them out. They're no longer Indians, they're now Negroes. Okay. Now we have here, right here, the Irish. Okay, the Irish record. Look at the Irish. The same year, 1846, we had over 604 Irish. So when the Irish came here as indentured servants, guess what? They fell in love with our potatoes, because now they started mining our potatoes and taking it back to Europe, and that's what really built Europe. Our potatoes. And guess what the potato, what they call the potato? Irish. So now that's a food that's indigenous to the Americas, but yet still it's called Irish potato. How is that? And it's not indigenous to Ireland. Hmm? Again, I'm showing you what happened. The takeover. Okay? But we here playing games. We here fighting each other, right? No, now check this out. I'm going to show y'all the Italians first. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go to the Italians. Italians, 1855 to the 1900 was over 884 Italians. Over 884, basically close to about 885 Italians came during that time. Now, what I'm going to show y'all is here the Germans. Like I told y'all before, y'all don't realize these so-called Jews is what's running this system. Look at this. All right. 1850, right? Now check this out. My brothers and sisters, pay attention to the time. 1850 to 1897. Guess how many Germans came here? Over 4,100,008,378 of them came here. What you think they came here for? They came here for the takeover. So let me ask you a question again. Let me go back to the live feed now. I'm back at the live feed. So let me ask you a question. All right. Where we at? Where are we? Where are we here? So let me ask you a question. Here. Yeah, I thought my chat was popping. There we go. So I'm about to ask you guys a question. If between that short period of time, over 4 million Jews came, I'm going to ask you again, who owned all the basketball? Who owned the basketball association? Who owned baseball? Who owned hockey? Who owned the banks? Who owned the courts? Who owned the politicians? Who? Exactly. That was the takeover. That was the takeover. Okay? Yes, they were all Germans. But the so-called Germans that were called the so-called Jews, you know why? Because you know what they did? They created this exaggeration of the Holocaust so that they could be refugees here. Because that was planned. It was a takeover. It was a hostile takeover. And they got reparations. They all came here and got reparations for something that happened to them not in our land. And they got money, and they all got money to come set up shop in our home. But we here fighting each other. We here beating each other up. And they came and they gave y'all all the distractions. Oh, give them the TV. Give them the TV. Oh, let them go play basketball. Let them go play football. Give them the distractions. All their big, strong men. We're going to buy them out. I'm just saying. All I could do is provide the information for y'all. Ain't nothing more I could do about that. But just show you the facts. The rest is up to you. That's all I could do, man. I'm just playing my part. All right. And for those of you who are interested in supporting the channel, you see the link that you could support. The link for the book is below. Brothers and sisters, get your copy of the book. Like I said, I'm only giving you the tools to teach you how to win. Ain't nothing more I could do. All right. The rest is up to you. Now, I'm going to show you another video. I'm not going to get all the way into it, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. And so even people who call us black and African American, they're basically saying the same thing, but they're not telling people the entire truth. And they're still pushing our people into the narrative of being slaves. Okay. So this is a video that someone had sent me, and I'm going to share part of it for you guys. I'm not going to play the entire thing. I'm certainly sure you could go look it up yourself, but I already know the game that's being played. All right. Let me go share that again. All righty, cool. So this is a video by the channel. I guess the channel host has this Dr. Claude Anderson as a guest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen a little bit of it, and then I'll come back to that. You could always go check it out yourself. All right.
So without anything further, I would like to introduce Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude, you're on with us?
Yes, I am. So
all right. I'm doing great. It's a very, very good day. I've just been doing a lot of different things, and it's a powerful time too. A very powerful time, but it's very critical as well. We see a lot of police terrorism, a lot of different things happening right now. So I think your message right now is very critical. I called this show 101 Questions That Will Destroy White Deception. And if you get Dr. Claude Anderson's latest book, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask, you'll get all those questions that will destroy white deception. It's an honor speaking to you. Last time I saw you actually was at my college graduation, and you spoke there. Very powerful speaker, and I want to talk to you because you are, to me, one of the foremost thinkers on this subject as far as where we're at as a community, as a race. So I want to ask you. I'm just going to ask you for. Well, if you can you? I don't know if you guys got the speakers on in the background. If you can turn it down a little bit, I hear a little bit of reverb. But if you can, I just want to. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Are you speaking to me that you're having feedback?
Yeah, I hear a little bit of feedback in the background. I hear a little bit of feedback in the background.
There's nothing here but me, so I'm not sure what you're hearing on that. You still hear feedback? You hear feedback now?
No, I don't actually now. I don't now. So, now, how did you come up with the concept of this book, Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask? What was the inspiration behind that?
I wrote that book as a summation and a conclusion of all what my total experiences in all levels of government, at the highest levels of government nationally, internationally, all the highest levels of government, and in the local levels in the states, and the highest levels of politics and within the cities, and also having been at the highest levels of my own businesses running vertical corporations, all my experiences in the Marine Corps. And my father got through running the last campaign. At that point, I said, I'm the only Black in history of this nation, I guess, that's ever been a campaign manager. Not participate in a campaign, but have been a campaign manager for presidents, for governors, for attorney generals, for state legislators, for mayors, and for city councilmen and congressmen. And with that background, I said, I owe it to Blacks before I quit and totally retire, to sit down and bring all of my collective experiences into different books and explain to Black folk exactly where they are, how they got there, what kept them there, and what they need to do to get out of it. I'm speaking with you now at a very, very important point in time. And you mentioned earlier in your remarks about terrorism. We are now at the most previous point in history where Black folks get wiped out of the face of the earth and out of this country. You talk about terrorism. If you read the Black Reader, we're in it now. This country is in a downward spiral, Palmetto. It's in a downward spiral. It's going through a convulsion. It is being, and Black folks are going to wind up in a very serious race war within about the next 4 or 5 years. And they're totally ill prepared to defend themselves. They're going to be the primary people target and the scapegoat for terrorism in this country. The South is getting ready to rise again, led by Donald Trump, who's a Manchurian candidate for the conservatives in this country and for the second civil war for the South to come after. Those are the red states you all are voting against. And Black folk are totally ill prepared. And that's why I said I must try to prepare my people to defend themselves. And that's what all my books are about, telling you what you got to do, while you're where you are, what resources you have, and how to bring them together and put up a defense to be able to survive and prosper in the coming civil war and the coming race war.
That's powerful.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. All right. For those of you who are interested in checking out the rest of the information, you can and you should. You know, it's up to you. But there's a reason why I showed you the clip from this video. Okay, it is because even Dr. Claude is still saying the same thing I'm saying, that this so-called Black people are going to be going through something Okay, within the next year, 2 to 5 years. It's going to be a very dark time in U.S. history. And I keep warning y'all. And even from, look at just look at, the man's, what you would call it, resume. The man has dealt with the top of the top, but yet still, he's still calling our people black. So are you really trying to show our people how to save themselves? That is my question to you, Dr. Claude. If you have all these accolades and you're around all these politicians and all this, the Black Caucus and all of them, why are you still calling us black? And that's the reason why they're going to perish, because they're calling themselves black. But you're still continuing to push the narrative of us being black. But yet still you want to show us how to save ourselves. No. The first thing first, okay, the purge is on its way. It's coming. It already started. Okay, it already started. And like I said, I just wish somebody is able to get me a copy, an MOV copy of the movie The Last Purge. The Purge they just had, the first Purge, the movie that just came out this summer. I wish somebody could email that to me, because I really want to break it down for y'all to really see what I'm talking about. So yes, the dark time is coming. And yes, black people, he's right. He's absolutely right. Black people are going to go through something that you would only see in the movies. That's right. Because black people don't have a right to protect themselves. I'm letting y'all know, man. I'm letting y'all know. Like I said, the link for the book is below. Get it. Because it's coming. It's coming. And only the prepared, only those who are prepared will have a chance to survive. And I'm not saying all this to inject fear. No, I'm just trying to let you know. Not even trying. I'm letting you know how serious this is. Okay? Somebody asked, where do white people come from? Bruh, honestly, fam, I've done that before, but I've done a video on, Adam. Go look at the video about Adam. And I broke some of that down. And honestly, right now, it's not even about that right now, because you have Caucasians who are going through the same thing. People don't realize that this system, everybody's is enslaved on paper. But because they're pushing it, they're pushing the propaganda of making it a racial war, opposed to the have and the have-nots, and the have is oppressing the have-nots. Okay? They're pushing it as a racial war. So I don't get caught up with that. You feel me? But just to answer your question, Aboriginal Truth, I did a video about Adam is the original man, Adam, and I kind of like broke that down, so you could check that out. So because I don't want to go off course in this video. I want to stay on point with this about preparing yourself, and are you ready for what's coming? Brothers and sisters, there is a way out. There is a way out. History has shown, okay, that no matter what they do, we have always overcome. We have always won. They cannot beat us physically, but you see, you have to prepare yourself. Okay? You have to prepare yourself. They will come like thieves in the night. They will. Because they told you so in their book. But you have to prepare yourself. All right? You have to prepare yourself. So once again, I'm just giving you information to open up your mind some more. Okay, to show you and prove to you that this is real, that we are the Aborigines of this land, that this is our home. We didn't come here on slave ships. We've always been here. Yes, an injustice was done to our people. The biggest Holocaust in the world was the American Aborigine Holocaust. The biggest form of genocide in the world's history was right here in the Americas with our ancestors, because they know the significance that we have. We had and we still do have. They don't want us to know. So they would rather try to wipe us out. Not all of us, because they still have to contain some of the people. So they would rather contain you, jail you, imprison you, put you in camps, because they don't want you to know who you are. They don't want us to know that this is our domain. This is our throne. Our ancestors sprung from this land, not from any other land. So once again, my email is below. I'm reaching out to all the righteous brothers and sisters, man. I only want to deal with righteous people because, like I said, we're living in some dangerous, serious times. And I don't want to deal with no fake people. I don't want to deal with people that's filled with hate and like to spread propaganda and lies, because a liar is a thief. I don't want to deal with liars. I want to deal with people who are straight up righteous people who are serious about this. People who are willing to stand up for our ancestors because they stood up for us. If it wasn't for them, if they had given up, we wouldn't be here. Okay? They would have wiped us out already. But because they couldn't wipe us out and we were killing them, yes, they were killing some of us too. Treaties had to be made. But because they took over the educational system, our people lost the knowledge of self. So we have to leave their schools alone. Leave their schools alone. Leave their religions alone. And let us start doing our thing to prepare ourselves for what's coming. Because it's coming. These people don't care about us. That's a fact. They don't care about us. And all we have is us. That's it. And if we spend time fighting amongst ourselves, what do you think is going to happen? We are making their job easier. We are doing half the work. Because you want to have a little more than your brother or sister, so you're going to sell them out. You want to take a gun and go blow their head out for a little bag. And that's how damaged our people are. But like I said, it's not going to take a lot of us to turn this around. We have to strategize, though. We have to be wise in the way we move. Okay, we have to be wise. You have to be. And they will send moles. They will send agents among us and they're going to look just like us because you know what? They are going to sell us out for that 30 pieces of silver. It has happened over and over and over again in history. And it's not going to stop now. It's not going to stop now. So we have to be vigilant. Yes. This is real, fam. This is real. All right. So I'm about to end this video. Just wanted to come share that information with you guys. I will continue to share the information. I will continue to make the time, the effort to share stuff with y'all so that you could share it with your friends and family. Let them know. Okay? We got to take control of our children. Okay? We got to start protecting our women, our men. We got to protect each other. You have a family court system where sisters are just so quick to take brothers to court because they want to be vindictive. And you have brothers doing the same thing, and who's suffering? Our children are suffering. Do you know how easy it is to just dissolve the beast? It's so easy. If only the people could get their minds right. Every corner, brothers, sisters, drinking, smoking, okay? And this nicotine, you know what I'm saying? They giving y'all cigarettes that's created in labs. Okay? It's telling you it's an addiction. Everybody's smoking cigarettes. They don't realize this is not natural. It is not the natural tobacco that our ancestors used to smoke. It is not. It is what you call it? It's nicotine that's been engineered in a lab, and they put that in cigarettes to destroy y'all. Become addicts. But y'all always want the square. You always want the Lucy. I know, brothers and sisters, don't get me wrong. I know it's hard. I know you get stressed, or what you call stress, but it's actually de-stress. I know you get stressed. I know you get frustrated. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. But don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. The moment you lose yourself, the moment they got you. Don't lose yourself. Give up the addiction. Stop the drinking. Stop the smoking. You think you're smoking real weed. You're not smoking real weed, man. It's an addiction. Those are vices that they're using against you. We got work to do, man. We got work to do. I know it's going to work out because the right people, okay, those that were chosen to turn this thing around, we are coming together. We are. A lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes that you may not know of, but it's happening. Because our ancestors have to put those of us that's not going to sell out in play. Because this is our home. It's our birthright. And we got to fight for it. Period. But the truth is, those who are lost, eventually, they will step on the right side of history. Eventually, they will. You feel me? So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. Okay. If you want to support the channel, you could do that. Also, get your copy of the book. The link is below. In the book, it's the title of the book is called Newsflash, Everyone's a Slave. And thank you for all those of you who have gotten your copies. I have some copies coming on Friday for the last set of people who actually got their copies. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the great reviews that you're giving about the book. Yes, I'm so proud of it because of the information. You know, it was pertinent. It was important that it was really imperative that I wrote this book. All right. So I'm teaching you what exactly happened, who did it, where it happened, and what's going on right now and what you have to do to free yourself from this. You feel me? Indeed, all praise is due to the Most High. You did. You know what I mean? So once again, hey, Aboriginal Truth, you're welcome. And so once again, thank you to all of those of you who have tuned in. Continue to share the knowledge, share the information. That's what we got to do. Continue to plant those seeds. And every time I do a video, like I said, I may be redundant for some of the information, but I will always bring new information because sometimes we have to keep replaying it. You feel me? So that it could start sinking in, because that's how they got us, through constant repetition. And that's how they got the people programmed. So we have to deprogram our people. We have to deprogram the mind. And that's what they have. They have the minds of the people. So that's why the body follows. Okay? But there is hope. Don't give up. Don't give up. Please continue to stay strong, because our ancestors are definitely waiting to fight on our behalf. I promise you, they're not going to fight for us. They're not going to fight for us. We have to fight. Okay? But the strength that they have, they have already instilled it in us. So at the end of the day, they are fighting on our behalf. Okay? But they're not going to come back physically to do anything for us. We have to do it with the spirit of their spirits in us. Okay? That DNA of those warriors, those strong people, those kings, those queens, those pharaohs. All right? It's in us. All right? So just know that. All right? So I appreciate you guys, man. Talk to y'all soon. Have a strong continuation. Chief Kalinago always dropping this knowledge, for real. Like I said, this is not a game to me. I'm ready. I'm ready to step to the beast, man. You know, and my email is in the link below for any one of y'all that want to join, you know, this movement, this progression, this continuation of stepping up and doing what we got to do. Then send me an email. Okay? Yes, you have to be vetted, because like I said, because of what I've been through, it's hard for me to trust people. But I know that I have to be able to develop some kind of trust, you know, for those who say they are serious about this. Okay? So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your evening. Be good to each other. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. Take care of yourselves. Okay? Self-healing comes first. Heal yourselves. Let's start protecting our children, our women. Let us start protecting each other. Let us start loving each other. That's where it all starts. We have to start showing an appreciation of each other. If you see a sister falling, pick her up. You see a brother falling, pick him up. It's our duty. It's our responsibility. Okay? And all these networks that's pushing the propaganda of destroying our people, degrading our people, we got to start putting them on blast. It's the only way it's going to happen. We got to stop supporting those things and support those who are truly serious about this movement, putting in this work. Okay? So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Shalom. I'm out. One love.